Last time on Hasta, Alaska, we arrived in Canada and immediately fell in love with the country as we went about exploring British Columbia. We continued our theme of creating our own fun on a budget, and we said goodbye to half of our crew and welcomed back Leah for her third adventure with Kombi life. This time we're exploring Alberta and preparing for our final push to Alaska. Crossing further into British Columbia, we spent the next night at a quiet roadside stop. Or so we thought. It wasn't until we tucked into bed and that first train passed right by our Kombi window that we realised we'd made a mistake. For those of you who haven't seen the size of trains in Canada, believe us, they go on and on and on. These are the spiral tunnels, first invented in Switzerland to allow trains to loop inside the mountain to gain or reduce altitude. So pulling into Revelstoke last night, we saw a Kombi, and all good things come from people that own Kombis, so we went and said hi, Peter and Kai, and they've taken us to their little local camping spot.
Kai and Peter have been living in their bus for a little while and explained to us what van life is like in the winter.
Snow coming in the front vents, and there's no such thing as defrost. You have to have the windows open so that they're angled perfectly so that the wind is going on the front windshield, otherwise you just fog and frost right up. It's not the best, it's not very comfortable.
To be honest, that doesn't sound like much fun. And we decided no matter what happens, we have to get to Alaska before winter arrives. But what we didn't know at this point was that winter comes much earlier in Alaska than we had thought.
Winter is coming. Let's go exploring. The next morning, Kai decided to jump from her rig to ours for a micro-adventure with the Kombi crew.
That's one thing I love about living in a bus. My bathroom, my kitchen, everything changes every day. This is my bathroom today. This is where I took a shower today. Tomorrow will be another waterfall.
While bathing sure was beautiful in this part of the world, washing in these cold waters is guaranteed to wake you up. But then, the Kombi crew didn't need any help waking up. Our free camp spot next to the Kicking Horse River had us waking up to the familiar sound of Canadian rail.
It seems to be that some small Canadian towns have more animals than people. And some towns, as we found out, didn't even have basic supplies like milk, bread, or gasoline.
With limited supplies in the area, we felt lucky that our newfound adventure buddy knew a thing or two about foraging for food in the forest.
Good morning from beautiful Banff. It's a little less cloudy today, and sure is nice to see the mountains.
Starting the Kombi day with a beautiful breakfast. It's apple oats with chia, honey,
Sunflower seeds, almonds, cranberries.
And what's this?
Fireweed.
And fireweed, fresh from the ground. Inspired by nature, we headed off into the boreal forest to see if we could forage a meal.
Eating unidentified plants can be extremely dangerous. Be sure to consult a guide if you're in doubt.
Yeah, so this one is lamb's quarters, and we'll eat the leaves, and they taste like spinach, vitamin A and vitamin C. A strawberry.
2 baby strawberries.
I need a lot more than that if we're going to make a meal, Leah. Into the hippie hat.
So tonight for dinner we have wild onion and lamb's quarters and plantain, dandelion leaf, wild sage, and Labrador tea for dessert, and some juniper berries.
To add a little protein, we added some local meat.
Which we are seasoning with
Wild sage and juniper berries.
wild sage and juniper berries. So we still kind of forage the dressing for the meat. That still counts, right? Foraging is a lot of fun. You'd be surprised how much nutritious food you can find whilst you're out hiking. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Yum.
Good moose.
Banff is a great town to visit at any time of the year, and we had a blast. But this is where we had to say goodbye to both Ariana and Kai, leaving Ben, Alaska and I to continue on towards Canmore alone. In Canmore we met more cool people, not least of which was John and Alaska's new boyfriend, Melon.
I wish I could come to Jasper with you guys.
I wish you could do.
Yeah.
John hooked us up with one of his climbing buddies so that we could experience one of the activities that Canmore is most famous for. Super pumped. Shake it up, shake it up. Another activity on our ever-growing bucket list was horse riding, Rocky Mountain style. Yeah, I don't think I'm exactly what you would call a natural cowboy. Now I've got control of the horse. That's what was wrong, I was missing the hat. Hey Burr! Hey Burr! Oh, my Kombi's got better brakes than this horse, or at least when I've got control of it. Wow.
Doug and Wendy are Canmore locals, and they showed us incredible hospitality by inviting us into their home for a few days whilst we prepared for the final push to Alaska. Bear spray, check. Spare parts, check. Kombi running okay, check. Ish. Part of that preparation was increasing the size of our crew, so I recruited Angela from Switzerland, who was as eager to get to the Arctic as we were.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Sorry if you were waiting.
It was impossible to repay the generosity that Doug and Wendy showed us, but we were able to help out a little at the horse stables, which was fine by us.
Leave you alone for 1 minute, Leah. Check you out.
Dream come true. Proper cowgirl.
We were really lucky to be invited in by Doug and Wendy. We honestly couldn't have asked for better people to get us ready for our trip to Alaska. There are some things that have happened on this Pan American trip that we will never forget. The day that we led the horses down to the pasture from the back of the Kombi is one of those days. From Canmore to the end of the Pan American Highway is approximately 4,033 kilometres, or around 2,500 miles. So we picked up another traveller, Fernando from Brazil, who joined us for the ride.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Fernando?
Yes.
It would be a much longer and more challenging journey than any of us could have anticipated. But that is a story for next time. Next time on Hasta, Alaska, we finally get to tackle the world-famous Alaskan Highway. After 41 months of difficult overlanding and preparation, will we be up to this huge challenge? And will the road be kind to us? Well, what do you think?